Hey guys, what is going on? So I'm going to be looking at dev1ce today, AWPing the CT side of Inferno. Astralis hit a bit of form recently. I've always loved dev1ce AWPing this map. So I'm going to break it down, start relatively broad. We'll get into some more specific details. Look at a few cheeky tricks dev1ce and Astralis have up their sleeves, got a little things they use. First thing to note here is just peeking off towards the middle. You just get infinite information, you lock it down, there's no immediate aggression from the T side. And the second thing to note is the fact that about a minute 41, 42 in the round, if dev1ce is feeling like he wants to play a more cautious round, he will just fall off and peek that second angle. He misses the shot onto Flamey, but that's just the timing of when the players can rush up second mid. He's not getting peeked off from that second angle. Now moving forward into this round, we see that dev1ce is getting relatively aggressive with his peeks. Another thing to notice about dev1ce is he's very mobile. He moves from B to A, from arch to dig in this scenario. Short, if you're not Australian, dig it, he's short in Australia. And he gets his first pick. And notice the peak was wide in this one. He wants to even it up. His team's in a man disadvantage after Magist got picked off. And he's just going to fall away now, happy in his 4v4. An important thing to note is the fact that how the rotations often work between him. His default area, or where he ends up most of the time, is towards this arch area. And notice the fact that as he moves over here, he kind of bumps dev1ce off back towards the B side. And this can work both ways, where dev1ce comes in here, and that's when dev1ce leaves and hops onto side if they think it's going to be some kind of short take, and vice versa, as we just saw. So fast for this one, I'll talk about this position more. Why it's so powerful, very good for being mobile towards the two side. You can see as the pressure comes towards B, dev1ce does just fall off a little bit. This might just seem like a small thing, but he does just get himself a little bit close towards the B site while still making sure no one's going to try and flank over towards arch. Now the second and small thing to note is the fact that dev1ce is pre-aiming the top of this little boost or first oranges, and that's just because now if you're in a man disadvantage here, they might try and jump up there. Players are known for peeking over those smokes to try and get their team an extra kill, give themselves an advantage into the afterplant positioning. That doesn't happen, but that's just very thorough, and that's the kind of player we're dealing with in dev1ce. And then you see all the players just kind of peek at once. 3 players just pinch the Flamey, and there's not really much Flamey could do. But I do just love the fact of how thorough dev1ce is. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of idea of how dev1ce and dev1ce kind of bump each other off in other rounds. And we can talk about the more specifics now moving forward. Now let's talk about what happens when dev1ce gets pushed on towards this A site. Again, dupreeh has gone down, so he feels like he should be in here for any kind of short take. And the positioning he takes to really free up Magist and allow Magist to do most of the hard work, with him playing more of as like a guardian angel protecting Magist, but also in a position where Magist can trade him very effectively. So he gets on top of this box here. It's a great position because you see anyone pushing down into pit, and it gives Magist the freedom to peek. You can see Magist right now, he just peeks up in towards short. Hopefully you saw that on the X-ray. But dev1ce right now, to be killed, he has to be peeked either from short on an angle like this, or someone can maybe jump out of pit and peek like this. Both of these angles can be peeked by Magist relatively quickly for a trade. And also Magist is very free, as I already said, because of this dev1ce, the angle dev1ce is holding. Obviously he can't be wrapped onto and he's shot in the side of the head. Obviously one of the most powerful ways to clear out this position is either a Molotov, or you can just swarm them, shoot them from all directions, shoot them the side of the head as your players are trying to shoot them from the front as well. But dev1ce says, no, you're not going to do this with Magist. Magist has the freedom, even after this flash comes in. dev1ce is able to hold this angle. You see, the great thing about this angle is because of this pillar, it makes it an off angle when they first initially clear the site. Then you can swing out and he just trades dev1ce. Bit of a gun advantage in this one. And he'll do the same thing with an AWP, just locking down this line of sight here towards the site so that Magist is free all the time to peek left, right, either side of the pillar that he wants to, and just take out the players and really help out with a great crossfire. What happens when dev1ce actually AWPs the arch side? Well, I'll get to that in a second. Before we break down this cheeky little smoke from dev1ce, you can see after he gets pushed off middle by a flash, backs himself into these post or letter boxes, I guess you'd call them. He crosshair, he just aims it down a little bit. And look at this smoke right here, very cheeky little thing to do. Leaves a small gap on the right hand side that isn't actually visible to the T's. I think it's a bit of a one-way here. He doesn't actually get a kill from it. That's something you can trade every now and then. Something you can definitely throw into your pugs. Flusher starts to become, or golden, sorry, becomes a little bit wise of the situation. A little bit of spam away, but that's a great little trick. You can maybe throw in, catch a player off guard. They might think they've been killed through the smoke. We want to talk about what happens when dev1ce does AWP the arch side. Well, normally you just hold an angle like this and get forced off by utility. This is how the pro level works. Often relatively thorough with their flashes or not. Either you get the kill there and fall away, or you get Molotoved off continuously like dev1ce does in this one. And you take a multitude of different angles. So you start off either falling away, thinking it's going to be some kind of B hit like in this one. You start over here, maybe locking down an angle like so, or you can fall back into library, lock it down from here, or fall back into this position here, which I was talking about before. And this last position is the preferred one if possible, especially when playing 2 players over here towards the B site. You can see dev1ce really wants it back, throwing his flashes, so he can lock down any kind of wrap that comes in. It's a great bit of cannon utility right there. As the smoke comes in here, very likely they could try and push through, take arch control, just mauling them off, delaying a bit of time. But dev1ce does come back here, and it is because of the fact that you can swing both directions after they know there's no initial short take coming in or a short aggression. Notice as the smoke's fading, he's getting right back here. He wants to clear things out because you can swing a multitude of directions. Again, backing his teammates, making sure there's probably less likely of a wrap coming in now, and he's straight away back into this position. And this is the great thing about this angle right now, is you've got this very powerful angle dev1ce is holding right now in towards the short push area, but you can also swing back really quickly and make sure no one's trying to wrap around arch and really stop this pincer coming onto the A site. And this is why this is the preferred position if possible from the AWPer, because they can move either way. Obviously in those original clips we saw as well, he can move onto the site if he's sure it's going to be some kind of short take. Notice in this one only the initial kill comes in, so he comes back, swings this way. And notice right now JW is there, the timing just isn't quite in this one. And he does swing back. Crims hits a nutty little shot here, but notice if he did have time to swing back, Crims doesn't kill him. He has a chance to cutting off JW here, and this round becomes a lot easier for Astralis. Doesn't go his way. Nice shot by Crims. But you can see if your opponents aren't hitting nutty shots, so they don't use their utility properly, you can really lock down either of the angles. You can see I can swing back towards short in this scenario, just in one of my pugs, because you can see the yellow players covered in towards the arch area. And this clip was actually recorded using NVIDIA Highlights, who have sponsored this video. If you have an NVIDIA graphics card, you can download GeForce Experience that comes with it. You can set up different settings. You can record your full games. You can set up hotkeys to record the last 2 or 3 minutes when you get a highlight come through, stream to different services. And if you're a PUBG or Fortnite player, like most of us are, and you can set it up to automatically record at certain points in the game when you get a kill, multi-kill, and then you can compile it all together really easily and create some of your own montages. So what about moving towards B? Well, dev1ce often does start over here towards the A site, and you look for a pick somewhere, as we've seen him do multiple rounds. This time again, he's going to wait past that 1 minute 40 second mark. He doesn't really hear anyone jump into boiler. That's a great shot onto Xantares. But that's not really what we're focusing about. You've seen a couple of ways dev1ce likes to peek middle, so I'll let you pick those between you, shuffle them up a bit, try and catch the team off guard. But notice the fact that the Astralis members, after getting deep banana control, both Glaive and Magisk are rotating back here from B. They took a lot of control with Zipex. They trust Zipex to hold this, and dev1ce heads over here to really lock it down, so that Astralis can sit themselves up in this 4-1 setup. So notice again, this boost is quite powerful if you don't want to be jumping across. And dev1ce is going to miss quite a lot of shots in this particular round, but he's going to still do a great job of locking it down and giving the information for Astralis to really still win this round or rotate relatively fast. That's one of the biggest things about playing Inferno, because this rotation path is actually quite a long one compared to some other maps, maybe such as Overpass, running up the stairs, or other maps you can think of. So again, we're going to see him just jumping spot this. This is one way you can definitely check out towards the banana area. As soon as you see anyone, you can book it out of here. You can just hold it. Space Soldiers actually do a really poor job. They throw actually a very bad flash in this scenario. You can see it doesn't actually blind dev1ce at all. Most teams will throw a good flash at a pro level, and dev1ce misses the shot. Now, important thing to note is he still has some utility, either a smoke or a Molotov, if they leave him in this position, so he can really delay. And you can see this just stops Space Soldiers in their tracks. They can't really do anything up until this point, and it allows Zipex to rotate in here, and they have their set up back to how it was before, but they were able to have all those players over towards A just to start off with. So you can see Zipex is going to start things off, and dev1ce is again just holding this angle. And notice how he's delaying. Obviously, 11 seconds left in the round is a bit of a factor here, but he does a great job of delaying the situation, missing a heap of more shots, but he still wins the round for them, allows Zipex to come over here, gets his first kill onto Calyx, and then dev1ce is able to lock this down, or well, not lock it down because he misses a whole pile of shots, but notice how he's delaying again, giving his team time. He doesn't peek again straight away, he throws a flash, misses a whole pile of shots. So after that first initial pick onto Xantares, he only really gets a kill the P250. But hopefully that's just a good understanding for you guys as to how he moves back up the banana, drops his utility, and that's a great way you can run a 4-1 setup. So if Space Soldiers did hit the A site, they have a lot more players there, Astralis, just to lock it down. dev1ce seems to have a couple of little tricks with smokes to allow him to peek different angles. Again, often very common to Molotov top banana, but dev1ce has a way of cancelling this out. You see that smoke right there just lands perfectly on top of it, just gives him a little gap there to peek down the left-hand side. NIP do a great job of smoking him back out on this one, but you can see how effective that is, and if a player does think that Molotov's there, I'm fine, I can strafe out across towards the logs area. dev1ce is going to get a nice little pick, doesn't have to take any damage from the Molotov, and honestly, yeah, I'm just seeing quite a few little neat tricks dev1ce is throwing in with his smoke, so you can try out that one as well in your games, no matter whatever you're playing, and potentially catch out a few players trying to push into the banana area. Now notice here in this one as dev1ce gets caught and the sandbags here, dev1ce does a great job of using his utility just to delay the NIP players so dev1ce can survive. And notice how many kills dev1ce is going to get. He's just going to keep going and going and going. Another smoke comes in. And dev1ce ends up getting 3 kills here, and he would have been dead. He would have been swarmed upon if it wasn't for the help of dev1ce and glaive throwing a good amount of utility. That's not really much to be doing an AWP, but that's just a great way to help out your teammate if he does get trapped at the logs or the sandbags area. Don't just leave him out there to dry. Help him out, throw a few flashes, give him a much better chance of getting some kills, and you can potentially win the round, such as Astralis did in this one. So again in this round, we're going to see some deep banana control from Astralis, and dev1ce getting on top of this wall. Very similar to what we've already seen, I've explained all this, but I want to talk about moving the opposite direction, and how he's going to push down banana, even though he has an AWP, and really attempt this flank when the full A take comes in. So you can see again, they're going to rotate the players over here. Glaive's going to get into a little bit more aggressive position than dev1ce, especially once this smoke comes out. And they're going to really try and lock down this A side, all because of what dev1ce is doing over towards here. Notice he is moving, he doesn't stay too stagnant, he will peek in and out. But I want to talk about when dev1ce starts to flank, because often players, I mean, there's a famous example with SK Gaming where Fur and Phelps, I believe it is, just rush down the banana and get taken out by a lurker such as Forest. But we notice right now, dev1ce starts to move as a lot of utility comes in. Notice this is basically the same time that glaive is taking a fight on the A side itself. So they've seen basically a full commitment from NIP. Magisk has already gone down in this area of the map. So they've lost a player. The take is coming in. Lots of utility seen over towards that side of the map. You can see glaive's taking a lot of heat, and this is when dev1ce starts to move. And this is perfectly because he knows this is when anyone watching the flank is going to probably want to start getting in on this take, really just to lock it down. You can watch the timing on the minimap now. It's almost perfect with Forest, because this is when it makes sense for Forest to rotate away. And dev1ce reads this like a book. Doesn't get the kill, so it becomes a 2v1. He has a disadvantage. But it's just a good example of how when you should push down banana and not getting over anxious or over aggressive, such as with that SK example we saw a little while ago. But guys, that's about it. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I'm going to leave you with a nice little montage. You're always asking, how do I play? Well, here's a little montage I managed to make using the NVIDIA GeForce experience.
Last guy's on a, I think. Yeah.
67.